The ISU students were wondering, as we all know, we are not on the best economic state at the moment. So what is each of your companies doing to stay afloat in today's economy, and are you hiring?
I'll say we're hiring, but everybody's a volunteer. So.
Okay, well, Odyssey Moon was formed with a very sleek and low overhead burn rate, so we could survive any economic storms that came our way. We didn't have the foresight to know that the type of storm that actually hit us was coming. But it's all about momentum, and we've built up a management team and a series of partners that is certainly taking us out into our second round of financing with great enthusiasm, and we're planning that we'll be able to hopefully raise that within the next 3 to 6 months, so we can get into our flight program and deliver our first payloads in 2012. The economic times are certainly a challenge. It has not been so daunting that it has discouraged us, and as a matter of fact, with the momentum building and all the, if you guys were around yesterday, I think many of you were, you saw the 10,000 people that descended on NASA Ames to celebrate the Moonfest. So there's a great public interest. If you have a good business plan, it doesn't matter what the economic times are. If you can deliver ROI to your investors and good products and services to your customers, there's lots of money out there for good business plans.
Thank you, Bob.
I don't have a whole lot to add to that. We are obviously staying afloat, and we actually feel that this slowdown is giving us enough time and opened some of our potential investors' eyes to the fact that maybe they need to be looking at a little bit longer time horizon. So I think that's actually a benefit.
Kevin?
We're not really looking at investors, as I said before. We're looking more toward promotional sponsorships. And that's one of the things that, while it may reduce a little bit in times like this, it never goes away. People are always looking, especially in hard times, for things to take their minds off the hard times. So the entertainment industry doesn't sink too low in hard times. There are still movies being made. There's still theater going on. People still go out for entertainment. We're looking to make space a little bit more entertaining for people so that they'd be more interested in seeing it, so that they can see the things that excite us about it, not just the science, not just the math, but the things that excite the human spirit. There are a lot of people that are really, really excited about it, and we want to be able to communicate that excitement to the people who don't understand it. So if we can bring those people, those eyes and those ears to the space community, then we can bring sponsors to the community, because the sponsors are after those people's attention.
Thank you. And I encourage all of you, while you're here and at the conference, that you can stop by and talk to some of the ISU students. They've been coming to the conference as well as the Singularity students. They've all been sort of reaching out and asking questions and are very interested in what each of you are doing. Any more questions from the public? Yes?
Yeah. I mean, the reason that the communications industry makes lots of money out of space is that people on the ground will pay money for those services every year. So if we want to make, if we're going to say there's going to be this commercial operation on the moon, leaving governments aside for the moment, how many customers do you see on the Earth on a yearly basis? How much are they willing to pay each, and what are they going to get? In other words, put some meat on the market. I mean, I'm sure you don't have this perfectly worked out, but the best you can do right now.
Well, I guess this is, I'm sorry, Fred.
Was that for me or Bob?
For everybody.
Guys are trying to make money.
Sure.
If you're doing an open source thing for free, I mean,
Sure. Well, I guess it's a good time to point out that Futron came out with a study. Actually, the lead author here, Jeff Faust, right in front of you, announced last Thursday a $1.5 billion market over the next 7 to 8 years, Jeff, that at a very high level look at what could be gained from commercial services to the moon. That study, I don't think the study itself is released publicly yet, but the results of the study through the Google Lunar X Prize, which financed the study. So that's a study that was done, probably one of the most recent ones, that goes through the different types of channels for revenue. For Odyssey Moon in particular, that study does resonate with the channels that we have proven are viable. We have government customers, we have private customers, we have novelty customers, and we have research customers. So not one of our customers yet is NASA. And so we have not built a business case on sending government payloads to the moon. However, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of orphan payloads that are out there that have either been waiting to fly and the mission was canceled, or that they were engineering modules or proto-flight modules of missions that did fly. And one of those customers, TNO from the Netherlands, that has signed up with us, is one of those instruments that has been designated for a Mars mission that is being adapted for the lunar mission. I hope that helps.
And I want to answer one thing about the lunar missions. We don't have a communications infrastructure for the moon right now. We don't have 24/7 coverage of lunar communications. It's only through ground relay stations. NASA is returning to the moon. You know that right now, for us to get a contract with NASA as an open source ragtag team of 500 people scattered around the world, it's going to be very hard to get a contract with NASA to provide communications to them. But if, on the other hand, we put something in orbit around the moon, a communications satellite, and we demonstrate that it works, and then we start adding more to that, we've created an opportunity to build on that market. NASA will be returning to the moon. Bob will be returning to the moon. FedEx is going to need communications on the moon too, so we're going to be there to answer the phone for them. And it's putting numbers on it. It's hard to put numbers on that part of it, but the numbers for Deep Space Network, I'm sure you've probably heard some of the numbers going around for their services. They are oversubscribed. They do not have enough capacity to support the current satellite market. Their rates range from $800 to $1,600 per hour of satellite downlink time. We are looking at addressing that market through a network of smaller relay and both small and large antennas on the Earth.
There wasn't much meat in our comments, and I apologize for that. The pricing, you did ask a specific question. Odyssey Moon has not publicized its pricing. However, we do have very substantiated pricing that we share under NDA with qualified customers. We have said publicly that we have an airline approach to pricing, and we have a condominium approach to costing. And we have, if you look at it from the highest level, a small robotic mission to the moon is a $100 million mission. And with very efficient technologies, you might be able to deliver anywhere from 30 to 50 kilograms to the surface of the moon. So you know what your cost of goods sold is. And if you're trying to make money, you got to sell it for more than that.
Mike, Kevin?
Well, I know you're specifically asking about non-governmental contracts, but I don't think you want to discount what's available through the government, especially the International Lunar Network coming online, if that comes online as maybe projected. I know Rob Kelso was here yesterday talking about some of the commercial opportunities that NASA sees working with different groups. So I don't want to discount that. It'll depend a lot on what we see come out of the Augustine Commission. But in terms of non-government payloads, you might also want to think about universities. If you can bundle several different university projects and come in with a price tag under $100 million, you start opening up that small end research market. I think that's a real opportunity. Several of the teams have signed contracts with people like Celestis and others that definitely have a price point, like Bob said, that it's not really public, but there is a case for those as well. Whether you can continue to do missions based on the back of that, I'm not really confident you can, but I think all these things have to be brought together in order to close the business case, and that's what we're trying to do.
The only commercial thing that we're looking at right now has to do with nanosats, getting nanosats into orbit as one of the methods of financing what we're doing, financing our development. We have an announcement coming up probably in the next week about that, so it's not something that I can talk about today, but it involves being able to get excuse me, being able to get the CubeSats that are sitting on shelves off the shelves and into orbit, and being able to get other nanosatellites into orbit for a lot less than the 40, which has now grown to $80,000 each. So that's what we're looking for on the business side to do right now.
Thank you.